Baylor and K-State, and a longtime friend of us and the show. Head coach Jerome Tang joins us on 365 Sports with Craig Paul and David Smoke. Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, come on, man. What's going on? How are we doing?
We're doing great. It is fantastic to have you in town.
I got to tell you something before we start. When I called and left you a voicemail and it said it's a great day to be a Wildcat, I was tripped out for a second, man. I've known you a long time, Jerome, and I knew it. It just when you hear it, it was a little strange.
Yeah, I get those moments myself.
I bet you do. Scott Drew was on a few minutes ago and said that we are supposed to, and he demanded that we keep you on the phone for the next 6 to 8 hours.
Oh man, that sounds like Scott right there.
I saw a quote from you, I think it was a day or two ago, about the protocol in this being so unique with you coming back. Other coaches have come back and played against you, but this is different because Scott's never coached against somebody really that was a part of his staff. It's family. What have you learned? How does this go down?
Man, I don't have a clue. You know, I just what I know. I know once the ball is tipped and the game starts, it's a game, right? And we're going to compete. It's just like if we were playing golf or we're out on the court hooping or cards or whatever. It's a competition against two people, you know, and when it's done, you know, we're going to go back to, you know, it's going to be the great relationship that we have. It's just having never done it before and never being back on the other side in a place that I just love, you know, and with people that I love. I can't tell you, you know, exactly what's all going to be running through me. I'm just praying that, you know, I could contain that part of it and be able to do the best job I can for my players because they deserve it, right? This is about them. This is about, for Scott, it's, you know, it's about the team, his team, and it's about, you know, my team and not about me and him. And because it's not a competition between us. It's a love fest, you know, so.
Jerome, so far, everything has looked really, really fun and great for you at Kansas State, and taking over a program in the first year is never easy. And a lot of times you watch from a distance, you know, wondering if things are a fit. I know that part of it is a testament to your personality, but it does really seem like you and Manhattan, Kansas work well together.
Man, I you know, the people in the community and at the university, the K-State family, they're very, very passionate about the university and, you know, all things Wildcats. And, you know, I'm an all-in kind of guy, you know, when some place, man, I love everything, the rowing team, the gymnastics, whatever it is, I'm all about wherever I'm at. And, so it's really easy to, you know, just dive into this because the people are so passionate.
What was it like to see Coach Kleiman and the football team go on the run that they did?
Oh, man, it was awesome. You know how much I love football. And, man, it's been great. He's been so wonderful. Let's me come to practice and, you know, watch. And, you know, I mean, that goal line stand in the Big 12 championship game, so reminiscent of the year before with Coach Aranda and the Bears. And, oh, man, I was like, having deja vu all over again, you know. So it was really cool.
What did you learn about Kansas State after you'd been there a few days that you didn't really know?
Well, first thing I learned is that the cold was real, right? It was, you know, because it was like in the 40s in March and April, and it flurried and all kind of stuff, and man, I wasn't adjusted to it. And then the other day it was in the 40s and almost wore shorts, you know, so, but you know what? I'd heard about how passionate the fans were. I'd heard about, you know, just that whole Wildcat family thing. Mm-hmm. And then I got up there and the synergy between the town of Manhattan and the university is like, I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, all the street signs have Power Cats on them. The trash cans are purple. They say when there's ice on the road, they put purple salt down. You know, I mean, like people everywhere you go. Like it was probably a few weeks of being there before I ever saw another schools, someone wearing a jersey from another school or a T-shirt or something. You know, it was just everywhere you go, everybody has on Wildcats and K-State stuff. And so that's been really cool.
You have had to build this team a lot through the portal in year one, and that's how things go. But the hardest thing, as you know, is to build chemistry with all that. What's been the key to you guys doing that so quickly with people who came in from all over the place that didn't know each other?
You know, you get the right kind of kids with the right mindset. You know, I think we have 8 state championships on our team, so we have guys who have won. They understand what it is to be in a single elimination tournament and, you know, be in games where they've been down and had to come back in order to win that state championship. And, you know, guys who have won before, they understand there's a certain sacrifice that has to be made. And then guys who have won at the college level, you know, Desi Seals played in Elite 8 at Arkansas. And, you know, Keontae played in the NCAA tournament. And so we've had multiple guys that have won, so they understand the sacrifice of winning. And then my staff is just incredible, man. We have family dinners every Sunday, and we do a bunch of things. We spend, like, people always talk about being family, but if the only time you spend time together is on the court or in basketball-related stuff, then you're really not a family. And for me, we do a lot of things away from the court with the guys, and they spend a lot of time with us and our wives and our kids, and because I want their parents to know that, I mean, they have a family. They're like, our guys just don't know where my bathroom is. They know where the forks and the spoons are, right? They know where the cups are. Like that's what family is.
You have found Markquis Nowell. Seems like he's been rejuvenated. He's been good, but it looks like this year there's things he's doing even better. He seems he's playing at a high level. I know that the great story about Keontae Johnson, we could ask you about that as well. What conversation did you have with him, Markquis Nowell, when you took the job?
You know, I went out to lunch with Keith one day, and we were struggling, like, getting guys, right? Like, I mean, we had 2 dudes on the roster, him and Ish Massoud, and with, you know, just trying to get guys. And you know, I told him, I said, because of how much him and Ish were working, right? Like, trying to help us recruit and hosting kids and doing all the things they were doing. I said, hey, Keith, man, I want you to know, man, we are going to work as hard as we possibly can to make sure that we have a team here that's going to give you a chance to play in the NCAA tournament. And he said to me, he said, Coach, Kemba Walker took a bunch of freshmen to a national championship. So I'm just letting you know, I'm going to do whatever we got to do for us to get there. And I actually looked it up, and there was 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores on that group with him, with Kemba Walker, you know, and they won a national championship. And so when he expressed that kind of passion, belief, faith, you know, in his ability and in what we were going to be able to do, it just, you know, really fired me up to want to work even harder with and for him. And I've just asked him to try to see the game through my eyes, and I was going to try and see the games through his, so that we can come to an understanding of how we want it to look. And he's done a great job just trying to grow and understand what we want it to look like out there.
You have seen players that you coached, whether it was Isaiah Austin, King McClure, who have gone through some things to have to deal with the health as far as the heart, et cetera. We saw what happened on Monday night with DeMar Hamlin. You have a young man in Keontae Johnson who had an experience of a very scary moment in his career. Did that come into play at all this week with what we saw Monday night in Cincinnati?
You know, I think some people had interviewed Keontae, and he said that he understood what was going on out there and knew what the young man DeMar was going through, and I think his mom was able to reach out and to them and let them know that she understood it too. So, you know, seeing that happen, I'm sure it stirred up some things with all of us, you know, that what Keontae had been through. The blessing of it is that, you know, Keontae has, like, there's, you know, like, I think they say it's like 99.9% that if anything was to happen to Keontae, that his defibrillator would revive him. You know what I mean? So there's a security there for him that, you know, and his likelihood, like, he has a greater likelihood of survival than the normal black male athlete who are more susceptible to this type of thing than any other athletes, which is, crazy. So we learned that. And so, yeah, it does stir up some stuff, but it also stirs up the blessing that he has of being able to, play the game that he loves again, in a meaningful setting.
Big win for you, obviously, at Austin as a program, as a coach, as a team, et cetera. But you're kind of used to being on a basketball team that beats the Longhorns, aren't you?
It was a huge win, man. Those Longhorns, they are very, very talented, and Coach Terry's doing a great job with them in the middle of a very difficult situation. Those guys have rallied, and we played well. They played well too, though. So the great thing about it is it wasn't like we caught them on a bad night or anything like that. They played well, and we played well, and so that made it. It was very gratifying. Always tough in this league to get a road win. So whenever you can get one, you got to celebrate it, and then you have to wash it and move on to the next one. Because this is the third. Our first three Big 12 games against ranked opponents, and two of them on the road. So it doesn't get any easier either moving forward.
So what stops that you missed, being away for the last few months, did you hit on the Jerome Tang return tour to Waco?
Well, we got some Papados in Austin. McKees hit his half-court shot, so they wanted to go to Ruth Chris for his birthday.
Okay.
So we did that. Got some Fuego because, the tortillas here are just incredible. I haven't found a good tortilla spot yet out there. I think I'm going to have to learn how to make them and start making my own because, they don't have an H-E-B up there with the, the nice buttery tortillas. So that's the thing. We're going to Buzzard Billy's tonight. And so it's a lot of fun. We're going to get some Georges before we head out of here. And so I'm excited.
Coach, you obviously know this Baylor team pretty well. You had a big hand in it all coming together, and just the last several years, obviously being on staff. When you look at this team, they've obviously struggled here and at times throughout the season, but most recently a tough loss. What do you see from this group when scouting them?
And I see probably the best collection of guards in the country, from very physical and talented forwards. A lot of experience, and this league, you can be prepared and play well, and still not win, right? And so like every possession matters, and so you get hats off to TCU is playing at a high level right now. Going to Iowa State, sellout crowd. On the road, it's just tough. So, they are really talented, and the thing for you guys that you can rest assured of is that staff over there, they're not, pointing fingers at the problem. They're finding solutions, and that's what made us a great staff. That we moved on to the next thing and figured out how to fix it, and for sure they're going to fix it. I hope they don't fix it by tomorrow night, but. We'll go see.
I know you have things to do, film, meetings, etc. What about being a head coach has surprised you that you didn't quite, even though you took over a couple times when Scott wasn't coaching, and you've been in that right next to him, connected at the hip for a long, long time. What about being a head coach was something that maybe you didn't expect?
You know what? It's not that anything has happened that I didn't expect or whatever. What's really, what my eyes have really been open to is what a great job Scott did as being a head coach. And I've called and texted him several times just to tell him, man, you did a great job. Like, I know that I didn't tell him enough what a great job he was doing as a head coach. And, because we were always trying to figure out how to do things a little bit better. Mm-hmm. And because we were so consumed with doing things a little bit better, I didn't take enough time. He's prepared me. He gave me the opportunity to do things that prepared me for this moment. So I haven't been overwhelmed by really anything. Other than the media stuff, for like, sometimes I'm like, really, I got to talk to them dudes again, but because I don't know them the way I know y'all, right? Like, so we are friends. And so this is to me, it's friends talking, and I think as I get to know everybody around there, we develop that kind of a relationship, then it maybe won't be a bother for me. But Scott, I mean, you look at the success Mac and Paul and Mill have had, and you say, man, somebody did a great job helping prepare them for that. And Scott did a great job to help me prepare for this.
Obviously, you mentioned Rodney Terry. Last question, Jerome. It's a very difficult situation. And yesterday, of course, another part of that story. Did you tell him much? Did you give him any kind? I mean, he's been around. There's no question. But did you give him any kind of help or advice?
No. Unwanted advice is like, it doesn't do any good. So, if he ever called me and wanted to ask some questions, I'd be more than happy to help. But he's been a head coach before. He's been in situations, and I know he's going to do a great job.
Jerome, can't wait to see you tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you very much for your time. We love you, man. Mac Rhodes, when we said, what do you remember or what do you think about when we say Jerome Tang? I love him, and I'm proud of him. That kind of sums it up, I think, for a lot of people.
Well, thank you very much, fellas, and looking forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Go Cats.
Jerome Tang, Kansas State men's basketball coach on 365 Sports. And